minutes late today, but I was busy. And Baba, do you want to introduce yourself? He's just kind of taking a look at what we're doing here and stuff. He's a friend of Timo's, and I think you know John too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of observing right now, so.
Yeah, I'm Bobak, and I'm looking to maybe join this company, and I'm really impressed with Roy.
That's because he doesn't know me yet.
That's a big mistake. You're impressed with Roy?
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, welcome.
Welcome to your game.
All right, guys.
Do we ask where you are now, or do we ask those questions?
You go ahead.
Where are you now?
As far as,
Out, what
Right here.
office?
oh, I'm not with anybody right now.
Oh, you're just.
Yeah.
That's why it's okay to ask.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just
You're coming
looking to
in.
maybe join.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so leave your phones on, because we're getting more and more money. We're still only up to $100, so I'm hoping that one of you guys' phones will ring now. We can move it to 125. Kind of excited about this. The green office is the west office, our main market center. The red office is the east office, okay? So I want you to look at the trajectory here
It's going up. That's a
of
good
what's
thing,
going
right?
on, right? This is annualized volume on the last rolling 12 months, okay? This is sales volume. Started at 32 million, and it's just under 74 million over the last rolling 12. And this is only through, August of 2014. So
That's the
fairly
west
recent.
office? Is that us?
This is the west office in Petaluma. This is the west office and the east office. I haven't done Petaluma yet, but the Petaluma is going to look even better, just so you know. I'll show you guys the numbers in Petaluma. As soon as I get them done, I'll probably email them out, all right? But this isn't even important. The numbers themselves are important. I want you to keep in mind the trajectory, okay? Because this is something that I saw this in Yuba City. Some of you know this. When I took over in Yuba City in 2011, it was about to close, the Yuba City Keller Williams, and they said they had 20 agents. They only had 10 agents that ever came into the office, and of those 10 agents, 4 of them did business. Okay, so you can't have it. That's not an office. That's a small real estate team. Okay, so what happened was it was a bunch of really good people that owned that office with good intentions and a sign that said Keller Williams, but it wasn't really. They weren't bringing what the value proposition of the company is. They weren't bringing bold. Remember bold?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they weren't bringing bold, they weren't bringing coaching, they weren't bringing the training, they were just working, keeping their head down working, and people would come and go. But people who would come were coming based on the promises of here's what we are as a company, and then when it wasn't there, they would leave. So we saw this exact thing going on, what I'm about to show you. So look at this trend. And as you know, by November of 2013, that was the #1 company in Yuba City by agent count and by closed volume. Okay, went from about to close to that. Out there, our #1 competitor was Remax, great company. We almost emptied their office because the people at Remax, just so you know, who are attracted to that model, are attracted to the Keller Williams model, like innately attracted to that because it's kind of a business owner's mentality, right? This is our big competition out here. It's Coldwell Banker, Created Property, CPS, and Century 21 in the Santa Rosa office. These will get switched out here for Petaluma when you see the ones I sent out, but they're the same. It doesn't really matter. Look at the trajectory. Look what's going on. It's just bouncing around where they always bounce around. They've reached what their kind of critical mass is. So this is exactly what we saw with Remax. Out there it was Remax, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, in that order. Those are the big 3 offices that we competed against out in Yuba City. There were no other players out there besides us. And we were when we took, we weren't even, like if you ran broker metrics on the offices in Yuba City when I started out there, it didn't show up. It wasn't even there. So the trajectory is what I want you guys to really, really pay attention to here. I'm not sure why it's doing this, but it looks like Wi-Fi is not happy. I don't know why it's doing that. Give me a second here, I'll fix it. Anyway, that's what I really wanted you guys to see. That Wi-Fi shouldn't even be being displayed already. What is this? It's a lot.
Now there's more people.
Where's everybody coming from?
Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so Andrew's not here, so,
Oh, he's not gonna be here today?
oh, he might be around or whatever, but he's not in here to fix that for me. Is what I meant. Okay, so this right here, a lot of you guys don't know this, but on the back side of Keller Williams, in our Market Center, like the Market Center intranet, do you guys, raise your hand if you don't know how to get to the Market Center intranet. Not the one, not your dashboard where you log on at first, but the one that's kind of like about our office where we all communicate with each other. Does everybody know how to get to that? Okay, so if you get to that, you click on Market Center, Documents, Listing Consultation. And this is a PowerPoint. Now this all looks really slick in LA, right? It doesn't really look wine country. If you look at these pictures down here, none of that stuff looks like wine country stuff. So one of the things that Yaro did, and this is why this is in the meeting yesterday as well, is it's a PowerPoint, right? So you can change out all that stuff, but the basis of it and everything that's built into this listing consultation PowerPoint is really beautiful. The slide transitions are really pretty. So he went in there and just switched out the pictures with the PowerPoint stuff. Andrew is just finishing up the website for all of Will's wine country photography that's licensed to Keller Williams agents now. And so that'll be up in the next, well, okay. He was saying when it would be up, I'm gonna add like a few weeks to that and say it's gonna be up like by mid-October, okay? It probably sooner than that, but I'd rather set the bar a little lower on that because we've made the other mistake in the past. So go in there, check out that list, download it, check out the listing consultation. It prints out beautifully in on 8.5 by 11, or it makes a great iPad-sized listing presentation or laptop screen-sized listing presentation. It's slick, it's pretty, and the stuff that's already built into it for you guys is going to jog your memory about some things that you might want to include, and some things that you already would include if you're new, like how many websites the KWLS automatically populates to, has all the logos in it and all that kind of good stuff, and then all the luxury information and print media, everything. It's really cool. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Announcements. Margaritaville this Friday at the West office at 4 p.m. We're gonna do margaritas up there and just kind of hang out and have some hors d'oeuvres. A bunch of people signed up. I think we have a sign-up sheet at the front desk here as well. So get signed up for that. That's gonna be really fun. Prospect is doing a lead gen lunch and learn on Monday, the 22nd at 11 a.m. in the West office. There's one of these is mandatory, and that's Bill Jensen. You guys know that the RPA has changed. It hasn't changed yet in zip forms, but it's changing. There's a couple of, look, it's a plain English contract. If you read the one that's there and read the next one, it's pretty clear. But there's a couple of points on the changed RPA that are counterintuitive, that are going to make things a little different for your buyers and the advice that you're going to give them, depending on the questions they ask about the contract when you get to these pages. So Bill's going to come teach it. It's back up on CAR. Didn't they put the sample one back up? It was down for a few days. But I believe you can go to CAR.org and download the sample RPA that's coming out. It's going to be mandatory by November or something, yeah. And out and ready for you. It'll be in your WinForms library by October. But we're going to teach it on the 29th in the West office. You got to go to it. I hate to tell anybody who's a 1099 contractor that they have to go to it, but you have to go to it. So, and then this is the most important thing. Super Huey at the Flamingo Hotel. So what we're going to do with that, and the reason I even put it on there, there'll be posters in here, but what we're working on it with management is we're going to do a special drink. We're going to call it KW Kool-Aid. It's going to be red. And it'll be a couple bucks extra from like a regular drink, and we're going to do like a charity donation and see how, and we're going to pick like a local charity and do a donation, like a charity tie-in for it. So they booked us in the lounge. So it's going to be a situation where you're not going to be able to get in if you don't get tickets and get there early. They usually charge between $10 and $12. I think you can get advance tickets for 10 and 12 bucks at the door. That's just what the Flamingo charges. We don't charge any. That's not what we get as a company. But we're going to do this tie-in with it, and I believe it's going to probably be stacked to the point where if you don't get there at like 8:30, you probably won't be able to get in. So think about going to that. Halloween costume party in the East office on the 31st, on Halloween from 12 to 3. Families invited. Also, at the Margaritaville thing, bring kids, bring your family and stuff like that. And it's a family thing. It's not just for Again, really? It's a family thing, so, yeah, bring it. All right, Timo, you're up. Come on up.
Come on.
Talk to us. You recognize that logo?
First bite.
My wife's new book. We're gonna be launching
Ah.
it. It's about Petaluma, Sonoma County, farm to table. Is that the video?
No, it's not a video. All I could find was the.
There's a video on there.
Oh, let's put it on.
You go on the thing.
Yeah, I'll get it.
So we launched Kickstarter today.
Oh, wow.
You need some stoppers?
No, this is a book about the area, so it'd be good for your clients for holiday gifts.
Yeah.
Is this the video?
Put it on that.
Okay.
Should be the video.
How much is the book?
$20.
Cheap at twice the price. What's going on with this Wi-Fi thing? Will you see if Andrew's out there?
Okay.
Xfinity actually tries to take over often.
It's good.
Yeah, but.
All right, the bottom line is.
Weasel their way out.
Something
Well, hang on. Restart it.
on that. So it's 2.5 years of the making. It's all about the farm to table movement, all the history, going back to the Miwoks all the way through now.
Wow.
It's our personal journey throughout it all. It's like a year in Provence in reverse.
Wow.
It's going to be a bestseller.
Nice.
Self-publishing.
You can give up real estate.
I'm doing my, yeah, so where the royalties come in, so I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah.
In our dreams, we'll see. But
Yeah, that's what's going on. Our
Yeah,
Wi-Fi's down right now. That's what's happening. Because it does not show up.
KW.
There's
It's
KW.
not- Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's trying to connect to Infinity.
now presently should be on there.
Yeah, it should work now.
Defaults to it.
Here we go.
Bam.
Bam.
And then press on the video. Go down.
We have a few
down.
little listings there
Click
too,
here,
huh?
click here. This is our little blog she does for me.
Okay.
And then this should be the Kickstarter. Press play. We're up to we've already raised $1,000 today. That's good.
Nice.
16 backers. So we want 7,500. That's only half the cost. Trust me. It costs a lot of money.
Don't let my English accent fool you. I live and work as a writer in the small, eclectic farming community of Petaluma, Northern California.
Sounds like you. Better looking. Yeah. Let's talk about this little stuff.
Come with me on my adventures as I explore the region's rich and delicious farm-to-table culture. I don't just have a crush on this fog valley, I love it. Read my book, and you will too.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A little family history. Rocco, my son, produced this.
Oh,
That's what
He did?
That's what he does in LA. He does book trailers. So it happened to be. It's all in the family.
wow.
see that.
That's awesome. Well, I got goosebumps.
Did we get one in autograph?
Books, huh?
You autograph too?
Not me, my wife. Though. Not me.
Yeah, right on. That's great.
So
Awesome.
it's all about this area. So it's a good holiday gift. For
Where can,
clients.
where can we get it?
Go right now. Got on Kickstarter. for
Kickstarter,
Fog Valley
okay.
Crush. And that's that. And then once we get a certain amount, we're going to put the book order in the next week. So that will tell us how many to order. So
Got
we
it.
can try and pre-sell all the stuff.
Oh, perfect. And then it'll come out in the fall?
But then once we get it, we'll have copies here to give. So, but preferably on Kickstarter, that that will determine how many. We've already raised $1,000 already. That's just in 2 hours.
Cool. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
Thank you.
Who has a success that they want to share between last week and this week? I know there's some. No one wants to be first? I'll share one. No, I'm not going to be first. Who has a success? Oh, man. Bad week, huh? Was it slow?
Must be a success.
No?
I mean, I can say successes in terms of agency, getting people to sign agency.
Yeah, that's a contract.
Got like 4 of those on.
In coaching, we count a buyer broker agreement as a transaction. Yeah, that's a transaction, so.
How do you do that?
Oh, they're going to sign it. You know what I started
Assume
doing?
close, right?
I started making it not a big deal, and I've actually started
Yeah.
doing it after the fact. After I've already like had conversations with them. Oh, by the way, this is required by my broker. I'm sending it over. This is what it says. It tells you it just describes what services I'm providing. We've already talked about it. I'm putting it into DocuSign, sign it,
Love it.
and then they sign it. I stopped making it such a big deal.
Yeah.
I just take it as like, it's part of the many things that I do as an agent, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of took the, at first I was like, oh my God, I have to make the people sign this thing. This seems,
When you
Now I
think,
just-
yeah,
I took all of the.
you got what,
energy.
4 signed?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. When you think it's a big deal, have you ever heard anybody like brand new call an expired or a FSBO? Or ask for an appointment over the phone?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you an example of what I did when I was new, and I was a joke when I was new. I mean, I was like so worried about that they were gonna say no to me, that I kind of said no for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're kind of like, well, here's how that sounds, right? So I guess maybe, I mean, if it's okay with you, it might make some sense for us to maybe meet if you have time. You know, I'll meet with you. And so it really, I needed an appointment really bad because my restaurants had just gone bankrupt. I was like, I had to eat, right? And so it sounded like I needed it really bad. So what's the other person on the phone thinking? Well, how'd that sound to you? Would you make that appointment?
No.
Not unless you were really bored, right?
No friends.
Yeah, I got no friends, you're really bored. So the only appointments I got with 90-year-old ladies that
Or
lived alone.
took pity on you.
What's that?
Took pity on you.
They took pity on me, right. No, so it's the same thing, any close, it's the same way, right? If you feel like it's something, like if you don't feel like there's any value in it, or that they shouldn't sign it, it's gonna be hard for you to get them to sign it. So first of all, who has to be clear about whether it should get signed? You do, first, right? And you should be really clear that it's in their best interest to sign your buyer-broker agreement. And if you're not, then maybe there's a value proposition issue with, I mean, why should someone hire you, Elizabeth, rather than somebody else? Once you're clear on that, then it's kind of assumed that, of course, they're gonna sign it, right? The script for getting a buyer-broker agreement signed on my team was simple. It was at the end of the first the needs analysis with the buyer, then at the end of the buyer presentation about how we work and everything, Tammy would say, and you know what, Timo, for all these services, you don't pay us anything. We get paid by the seller if and when you buy and close escrow on a house. So we're gonna commit all this time and effort to you, and all we ask from you is, look, you don't have to buy a house, but if you do buy a house in the next 12 months, you're agreeing to buy it through us. Does that make sense? And you say yes, and they go, okay. Hand them the agreement, and they go, okay, when can I see the houses? Right? They just sign it. And it makes total sense. And then they're committed to you. And one of the things, the byproducts of getting a buyer-broker agreement signed is that you'll work harder for them. You just will. I noticed that about me. I noticed that about our buyer's agents. Have you noticed that about yourself?
Well, at least you're getting a sense that they actually are committed to doing something. It's easy
Yeah.
to meet with somebody and not really know, especially with buyers.
Yeah, I think that's
It's
awesome
so squirrely,
success.
you just don't know if they're ever gonna do anything, and it's really annoying.
I think it's great that you have 4 transactions that we can count in your lead generation for coaching. For coaching, what do we count as transactions in coaching, Shannon?
Buyer broker agreements.
And, yeah, well, that's it. And what else? Don't tell me.
Accept an offer.
Huh?
Accept an offer.
Well,
If it's-
yes, as long as it doesn't, you can't count the same client twice.
Yeah, as long as it's
But
not-
yeah, so you would accept, we count buyer broker agreements as a transaction, or we count an accepted offer as a transaction, or a listing taken. Those are the transactions for realtors. Lenders count them differently, but it's the same form, right? So yeah, that's a transaction. Those are solid deals if you find them a house. They're gonna do it, right? Awesome. Who else has a success that they want to share from between this week and last week?
I've had a couple of events that took a lot of work, but seems to be working out pretty darn well. I had that Glen Ellen property in contract at 9:15, which we're gonna close tomorrow. And we had a backup offer, and then another one waiting in the wings. And the buyer who we accepted the offer with 3 days before removal of all contingencies, decided to remove all contingencies and hit us for an 825 of the 25 credit, basically $115,000 hit on our value.
Wow.
And, on our deal, and so we rejected it, sent it back to them, told them they were crazy. Came back half a day later, 875 of the 25 credit, we rejected that one. Nothing happened for another day, and then they came back on the day of it was due and sent us one for 900 with a 25 credit. Well, my clients are pissed by now anyway. You know, and we got a substandard backup offer, but meaning that it had high financing on a difficult property to finance, but financeable, but probably.
But they're mad, right?
Yeah, but they're mad, So we reject it and we give them a 40 hours perform. 2 hours before they, that would expire and we'd be out of contract, they sent back, would you guys sell to us for the price minus 10? And we took it.
Yeah, that was smart to take it,
Yeah.
even though they were pissed, because.
Yeah.
Did you have to do anything to keep them from making that emotional decision to go with the backup offer?
A lot of counseling, both
Yeah.
on because the backup offer was $12,000 more than the first offer to begin with. But it was a 90% loan to value.
Yeah.
And so, and we had a fail. One of the things that came up in the report that was scary, we found out that the septic system was failing. And so a recommendation for replacement, which is true because they're already starting the plans to do that.
Right.
If they would have, and I told the agent early on, I said, the way I look at it is, our offer is agreed upon everything you can see, touch, and feel, right? And smell. And the things they were asking for was a complete remodel to where we priced it, because it's a remodel.
Right, right.
And so I was basically telling them what we would be willing to do, which was close to 25,000. So they shot their foot off by coming in unfairly. They lost their power to negotiate, and they almost didn't get the 10. Quite frankly, they probably would have bought it without the 10. But we decided to go ahead and do that. Yeah, that was a lot of counseling for both my client and trying to let the other agent know that, we want to do business, but let's operate fairly.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of the biggest values that you guys bring to your clients, is that it's not your house.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be your house if your client's the buyer. And so you kind of get a chance to stand back and take the 30,000-foot view, and when it becomes a giant, people start pounding their chest and digging their heels in and stuff like that, you kind of can take a different view. And then it's about how you communicate that. Good job on that. I think
And
that's
then
great.
on Old Railroad Highway, we got in contract with, upon presentation, we had 5 offers. Got one really good offer. 5 days later, she canceled. Her son came up, who's a contractor from LA, and said, Mom, what are you doing? If it was anybody but Mom, he probably would have said, let's do it, right?
Right.
But he probably figures you do a lot of that work for free, so he said, Mom.
He's probably like, yeah, I'm not coming up here.
I'm not doing this. And then, but there was an agent who was very diligent about checking, swore it was supposed to be her property, swore. So we barely put it back on market before we put it back in contract for $5,000 more in all cash. So we're looking, and this one's looking solid as long as they close their other deal, which looks pretty good.
Awesome, awesome, cool. Who else has the success? Charles?
I put a house in contract in Richmond of all places,
Nice, way to go.
but it wasn't in the last week, but since last time I was here,
Oh, good.
so.
Well, way to go. Congratulations. Yes.
In my Renee Drive, I had 2 price reductions in 40 days, really a lot of counseling with them. Probably would have been even quicker if I didn't go away for 10 days, but we just got a really nice offer. They took, the first time we did a price adjustment, they didn't take my advice. The second time we did the price adjustment, they did. And we got the offer in 24
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, guys, brush up on price reductions.
I'm watching, we're
Already.
chasing, I see the market being chased down just a little
Stop
bit.
Yes.
sitting there.
Depending on the price band, you're right.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. I've seen it too. I'm watching it really close, and there's some people sitting right in front of me right now in this office who are in a position to make a lot of money on expireds. That's coming. You guys know it's coming, right?
Which leads me to the question, how valuable is it to pay for things like Red X? Because I'm in the mode right now where everybody wants a little piece of money from me, and I'm like, I'm not giving any of you people money. I
Right.
almost said a bad word, Andrew, was so happy.
Yeah, don't, because I'd have to edit the
I
video.
know, every time we have to edit it because of me. But I really don't want to spend money. I'm not making money, so why
Right.
would I spend any? But
So
that-
what does Keller Williams talk about when we talk about spending money and your business and being a business owner and growing your business? What do?
Don't spend money if you don't have it,
We lead with
with
Revenue.
revenue.
Right.
So you don't go out and buy and spend $100 or $120 or $50 a month
Right.
on a contract if you don't have revenue from your company to do that. You don't take out your credit card
Right.
or your ATM debit card and give it to the Red X. That isn't how it works,
All
right? So there's too many things, Elizabeth, that you can do in this business right now to get instant business and instant transactions and instant deals, to go out and start committing dollars that that your company doesn't have on stuff that may or may not pay off if you do it. You know what I mean? Now, I believe that using the Red X and calling on expireds is awesome. It's the way to go. That's what I did. But out of, I don't know, out of 10 people that use the Red X and call on expireds, how many of them actually do it? How many of them actually get really good at the scripts and dialogues and really get really good at taking and not taking no for an answer, and get really good at closing for the appointment after the person says no 5 or 6 times, because that's what it takes. So I don't think you can go to people who are using it and ask them if it's any good unless you know who the people are who are using it and how good they are at using it.
Does Red X provide phone numbers? Because
Yes.
that seems to be the biggest roadblock.
Yeah, so just so you know, if you haven't called on expires before, you're not gonna have any success, or you're gonna have really limited success calling on expires by going to MLS and digging up expires. It's not gonna happen. Most of the good brokers take the seller contact information out of the listing before they pop it in before they expire it out, right? And even if they don't, it's too time consuming and cumbersome to load each one up and then look at it and try to make a
Forever.
phone call. Yeah.
Right.
So what the Red X does is it's an engine that compiles all the expireds and for sale by owners in the areas that you delineate in your settings. And then it uses Intellius and People Search and all kinds of stuff to dig up the correct owner information and last known phone numbers and all that stuff for them. And then it sets it up in a dialer. The new Red X has a dialer, doesn't it? Or a function,
It might have it.
it might have a dialer, yeah. So if it has a dialer, that's awesome.
How
But-
much is it?
The Red X, what do you guys think?
I don't know, $100 a month maybe?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, just go to theredx.com, and there's other ones too. You can go to landvoice.com, all that stuff. The bottom line is you need something that compiles them for you based on your settings, where when you come in to call on expires at 7 o'clock in the morning, you sit down and your numbers are ready for you. And then you role play a couple of scripts really quick, and then you hit it.
It's really not a big deal. The
No, it's
call-
not.
But it's just about the money out.
You should have Jimmy Rex do it.
Yeah, we've heard him.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It is.
Humor works.
Yeah, it does. So he's on vacation for I just called him. He's on vacation for the next couple of weeks, and he'll be in. And we're gonna work out a time for him to come in like mid-October, and he's gonna teach he's gonna do an expired calling workshop. And the only reason is because now's the time. Learn it.
Because people are
It's coming.
overpricing and they're
It's
still-
coming. Well, you know why? Because there is a bunch of people who had their house listed too high, either because they didn't listen to their listing agent or their listing agent was weak on price. And then when their listing agent didn't get the property sold in the first 3 or 4 weeks, they ran away from them and stopped communicating with them, instead of running towards them with the right information and having some nice dialogue about price reductions and getting the price reduction. So right now and through the winter, it's gonna be about expireds and FSBOs, and it's gonna be about getting your price reductions. We're gonna push that really hard in here. And we're gonna have lots of workshops and talks and role play and all that stuff.
What I
Yeah.
found interesting in some of the stuff I've been doing lately is that, and I think a couple agents in the office was discussing this, where the lowball offer, or what some people call lowball offer, are not being put out there, because I really believe that, my price reductions on Renee were not significant.
Mhm.
They're 15 and 15.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and the guy who wrote on the second $15,000 reduction, he wasn't far off from what he wanted
That's
to do
strange,
anyway.
though.
Yeah, that kind of blew me out.
Why would you
were
write
waiting?
that?
Why
That's
were you
bizarre. I
waiting?
look at the listing history and go, I'm gonna come in like 10 below where he's at, or 15 below where
Well,
he's
because
at.
I think personally, and that's why it's really, I'm trying to feel the market, is that, personally, I thought the 459 original offer was close enough for an offer of some kind
Mhm.
at some point. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was weak at price. They wanted 5, so I didn't feel like I was
Yeah.
weak at price.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that it just took a couple of small slices for
Yeah.
somebody to jump on it.
Yeah, if you guys watched, is that your chair?
It was a deal, 429 was a deal.
If you guys watch some of the price reduction videos and some of the listing presentation videos on KWU and KW Connect, what you'll see, especially in the listing presentation videos, when they get to the part where they're talking about price, is you'll watch these guys that are really good setting the expectations with the sellers about price way before any of that has to happen.
I do love that.
It's pretty cool, you know?
Also,
Yes.
in one of the bold videos on price, Diana, what's her name?
Diana Kokoska.
She says, oh, well, do you want to do the, modest price reduction or the big price reduction? The modest one was 10K and the big one was 15. I mean, the numbers that they're using, of course, I don't know what the prices of the homes are they're talking about are, but
Right,
they
yeah,
weren't
it's
like
hard.
these massive reductions.
Right.
But I think what's happening with a lot of buyers, if they've heard everything's over asking, they see a
Mhm.
price, they think it's gonna go over asking, and if you do a little price reduction, at least it sets this new expectation that, oh, okay, they're willing to, my asking offer could be accepted.
Yeah,
It's a way to
and
go
who
along.
else, and who has heard this in the market from selling agents? Man, we wrote an offer on that property, they've had 2 price reductions, and so we came in like 10 under, but we got in, and then all of a sudden we came in and 3 others came in too. And so they got blown out of the water because they were trying to make a deal.
But that's why this guy went 10 over and 10 back.
Yeah,
He-
yeah.
And quite frankly, I got an agent who was a little bit slow to the gun, who was a little bit not happy because her offer didn't get submitted.
Mhm.
But, we're
You were pending before it came in, so
Yeah.
whatever. It's not your fault. Yes, any other successes you guys want to share between, over the last week? All right, so haves and wants. By the way, I just came from the MLS meeting this morning, and there was a lot of announcements about listings coming that are not currently on the market. So what I thought I should do is actually take out my phone and videotape them and play the video for you guys. You can hear everything else is coming too, but it's worth being there just for that. If you have people you're working with, or just to use that script, right? I know about 3 other properties that might fit your needs. If I knew more about what you wanted, blah, 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 to make a buyer appointment. Yeah. So who has a listing coming right now that's not currently on the market that they want to share? Ooh, that's not good. You know what Eileen announced at the last meeting also was that we predict the future, our income about a month to 2 months out, based on listings taken. It totally correlates the gross commission income to the company. The month before, in August, no, the month before August, so July, we took 89 listings, and in August, we took 71. That's something to keep in mind too. So listings, it seems like, are becoming more valuable, and expireds are a good way to get them. And do you have anything coming?
Merlino Circle for $349 with paint and carpet right now.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's got something coming in.
I might have to look at that.
2-story, yeah.
Is the price the same?
349, you said? Okay.
Condo.
When's it coming?
When payment can be finished?
Okay, soon.
Yeah, next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And one down in Mill Valley for 1.3 up in Metropolitan Park Circle. And that'll be coming around in a couple of weeks as well.
Awesome. What are the stats on it?
Stats of the stairs, it's on the stairs. Stats.
Yeah, like bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, lot size.
It's
Okay.
built into a house,
Cool.
3 levels. I think
Is it dark?
It's woodsy.
Yes, I know it well. I know it well. Good.
Woodsy,
Good.
I love
Fun
it.
to hold it
Yeah,
open.
that's a good one.
It's funny. We used to, I
We'll
used to
get
sell
some extra
properties.
lighting in
And a
there.
single lane
Yeah.
thing, get up there, no parking. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
like the switchbacks, like.
Yeah. That's funny, woodsy. Yes. Emil.
Yeah, a little bit premature. We have a client that wants to downsize a house that has like a granny unit built into it. It's like an in-law unit, to something smaller in Sebastopol. So that's a typical person, oh, I don't wanna sell until I've found something, it's hard to do.
Mhm.
And it's doable, we got one in escrow right now that's contingency sales. So what they're looking for is in Sebastopol, so their kids can go to Annalee High. A 2-bedroom with a potential granny unit or a house that could be modified to that, so. They're looking for something in the 500,000 to 600,000, and they have a house to sell that's in the probably 800,
Mhm.
in a real nice area in Sebastopol.
It's out off of Mitchell, out
Yeah.
off of, is that Pleasant?
So anybody got an idea or something coming up in Sebastopol?
Okay.
Half acre, an acre?
Talked to Izetta, she mentioned something yesterday at the meeting
Really?
that she has coming, and I can't remember what it is, but ask her, put in a call or something.
All right.
And we have a short sale coming up in Kelseyville.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I don't know when that's gonna happen, but how many acres is it?
Oh, it's 11 acres. It was, it was a drug dealer.
It's in Lake County.
Had it
Uh-huh.
and left it, he got pulled into jail, and
Mhm.
it's just a mess. So it's gonna go short sale as is. The woman hasn't got a dime to put in it.
Right.
If
He was
you-
right,
If
he
you
was
like
tenant.
cats, you'll love it.
He was a tenant,
Mhm.
unbeknownst to her, you know, he had 300 plants there, got raided.
Awesome.
And
So
we're only
lots
doing
of-
this because this
And
is
the
a
cats took
client,
over.
local client, right? You know,
Right.
you serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if
So-
you want somebody that wants 11 acres, and the house can be fixed
Oh,
up
yeah,
into
it's-
something pretty nice.
Just gotta
Can
be
it?
cleaned up, you gotta have a front door put on it.
11
Is
acres.
there any water damage from, was it an indoor grow?
No, it was outdoors.
Okay.
Outdoors, but, you know, it's probably gonna go for under 3.
Wow,
That's a decent,
yeah,
it's all usable land.
cool, very cool. Anybody else have something coming they want to share? Okay, how about buyer needs? Yes,
Yeah, we're closing on that Glen Ellen property tomorrow, and they're gonna have about 50% to put down. They'll have more, but that's what they want to allocate towards housing. About 50% put down, up to around 850 is a little bit up the top of the market. Looking in the Cross Creek Golf Course, just north of Caulfield, the Garfield corridor. So a real nice St. Augustine house would be fine too, that area, but it's pretty much where they're looking.
okay. Cool.
What do you guys think coming up? Around 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. The most important thing is have a large bedroom if possible down.
Did you say the range, the price range?
Yeah, around 80, around that 80.
Anybody else? All right, so here's the calendar for this week. And then the ALC meeting this Thursday, everybody's encouraged to attend that. It's well worth your time. You'll see how kind of they get together and run the business of the office and keep an eye on profit share and all that good stuff. Next week, Eileen and I are in Austin all week. There won't be any meetings. I'm not sure about the East Ops Mastermind, but there won't be any meetings. And then, for those of you in coaching, our last coaching appointment will be, if you have a coaching appointment this week, will be this week, and then coaching will not resume until after October 8th, because I'm gonna get back from Austin on the 19th, and I'm gonna fly out to Italy on the 23rd. So, and then I won't be back till October 8th.
Where in Italy are you?
All over. It's gonna be awesome. I've never been. I'm really excited. But just know that for coaching. So it's gonna resume on its regular schedule after October 8th. So this will be the last week.
There's a town called Merlino.
Yes, I know.
And you gotta go.
I'm guessing that might be where my
And
last
you gotta
name
go
came
to
from, but I don't know.
the, you gotta go to the Amalfi Coast.
We are.
Yeah.
We're definitely going there. We're gonna start in
And
Rome.
Florence.
We're gonna do this bus tour thing that's gonna drive us all nuts, and then, but our last 3 days are gonna be in Sorrento at the same
Oh, yeah.
hotel on the same beach, not doing anything, which is,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
We swam from, if you can get to Capri and go to the Blue Grotto.
So I had to make a choice of going to Capri or Pompeii, and I'm a super big history buff, and I really wanna
yeah.
walk around the ruins,
Yeah.
so
Pompeii's
I'm
great,
going to
you
Pompeii.
guys. It's just
It's the same area.
Yeah, I know, but
We did it.
the tour is going to Capri, and me and Tina are bailing
You
at
can get a
Pompeii.
day trip to Capri from Sorrento.
Yeah.
Oh, we can?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The tour's probably there for 12 hours and
You
then.
gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it then. I
But
didn't
check
know
the weather,
I'll be there for
'cause-
3 days, so
You
yeah.
just get a boat there.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
gotta make sure
I'll
the
do that.
weather's good, because otherwise you can't get in the boat. But we swam from the Isle of Capri,
Maybe I'll swim.
the Blue Grotto, to Ischia, the other
Yeah.
island.
Are you
Wow.
gonna ask questions or what's going on?
Yes. I keep it on the down low. Keep it on the down low.
All right.
No fair bringing that up. Yes.
Just to let you know that we got engaged in Positano.
You did?
Oh, did you?
So avoid Positano.
It worked really well.
There's a great restaurant on Three Sisters, Trace Lorelli, right there in Positano.
Okay, maybe I'll do that.
I had no money, I had an opportunity to either
Good, so I'm on the same page you were.
stay in the pension overnight,
Uh-huh.
or eat the frutto di mare.
Yeah.
Feet and then sleep on the beach. So we ate and slept on the beach.
Oh,
That's
that's
nice.
That was all we had.
Oh, that's awesome.
How long
What a
did
great
you
story,
do?
that's really cool.
25 years.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
so hopefully I'm gonna see if I can stealthily get it videotaped, because I want my kids to see
You
it.
have to have frutto di mare. That's fish, fruit from the sea.
Yeah. Awesome, sounds good. We'll do that. So, no more bringing stuff like that.
You're a bit late.
Yeah. Broker risk management really quick. I'm not gonna get too deep into this. Buyer's agent on transaction closed several months ago after the close of escrow. You guys probably answered this. My buyer discovered significant pool leak near the bottom of the pool, evidenced by a drop in water levels. Seller had simply disclosed that he had repaired surface cracks. I recall discussing the disclosure of my buyer, who would not pay extra for a pool inspection report because the disclosure seemed so minor, but I didn't write that down anywhere. Mediation was demanded by the buyer's attorney. The seller and listing broker and my broker and I all elected to participate. The cost of the repair was fairly significant, and it was clear that the seller's contractor did an inadequate repair job. Well, I felt that I had no liability. The mediator pointed out that I had no. Can you guess whether they had to pay any money yet?
I'd say they have to pay.
Yes, say yes. Okay. Well, just so you know, if you go to mediation, that's a clue right there that you're gonna pay money. Because the way, does everybody know who's been through mediation before? So maybe you can help me with this. How does mediation work? What's the goal of mediation?
To get a solution.
To get somebody to pay.
Well, yes, how do they get a solution?
Somebody pays.
Well, they,
Yes.
How much money?
yeah, they say that what they want, you say what you'll give, and then they say, well, will you do this, will you do that? You know, I mean, by the time you get there, you've got a lost case.
Right, and the mediator, what the mediator does is they go, if it's you guys, the mediator goes, listen, man, you're wrong, and you're gonna have to pay a lot of money if we don't get it settled today, and but you just need to come up a little bit, because I think I can probably get it. What do you want me to tell them? You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. How much money did you bring with you? Right? And then they go to you and say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, they got a good case, and they blah, blah, blah. And they try to get everybody as close as possible. And all the time, if the mediator's really good, the whole time they're doing it, they make you think that they're kind of on your side, but they're just letting you know you're wrong. You know, you're wrong, really. You're gonna have to pay all this money. And E&O insurance is there, so all the money needs to be at the table for mediation. And then the solution that Steve's talking about is.
It's a win
everybody
if you end up giving them less than you thought you were gonna have to give them. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah, and the mediator wants to make sure that what you think you're gonna have to give them is a lot. So that's how they kind of get you guys close together. So yes, because they went to mediation, of course they're paying money. While I felt that I had no liability, mediator pointed out that I had no evidence that the buyer had elected not to have the pool inspection. The mediator used that point to drive up our settlement offer. From now on, I am using the buyer election of inspection form all the time. That's her takeaway on this. That was the question. It sounded more like a statement. Bill's answer was, your situation is all too common. Failure of a buyer's agent to adequately document which inspections the buyer chose to have or not have has led to numerous claims against brokers and increased settlement costs and liability. Without written evidence of which inspections the buyer has chosen and which were rejected, buyer agents have to defend the claim based on he said, she said. Such cases are difficult and expensive to settle. It's common for home inspectors to recommend additional inspections, blah, blah, blah. So practice tips: immediately upon contract acceptance, discuss with your buyer the inspection. Use the election of inspection form. Know this, in the election of inspection form at the bottom, it says, before the list of inspections with the check boxes, it says that there may be others and all that kind of stuff. And then it says, the following are the inspections that the buyer has ordered. Okay, so if the listing agent and the seller provide your buyer with a report, and because they were provided with that report, the buyer elects not to get. So if the seller gives you a pest inspection, and the buyer says, that's good enough for me, do you check the box on the election of inspections that the buyer has elected to order a pest inspection?
No.
No, you don't. That's correct. But how do you document that they were given the pest inspection? Well, they sign the front page saying received, right? So that's good enough. I had that question come up this morning with somebody who was like, well, they gave us all these inspections, so I had them write yes. I said, you need to read it because it says these are the ones they ordered. They didn't order those. Right?
This is probably really, whatever, it's a stupid question, but So
What does
they
that say?
filled it out, they checked it, they ordered these, blah, 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 something comes back and they wanna do more. So
Mhm.
then, another inspection, so then,
Right.
how do you indicate that? Do you just do a?
So what's the most important thing on the buyer's election? Knowing this, knowing that any inspections that are ordered are gonna be delivered and then signed for receipt of by the buyer?
So just having.
What's the most important thing to note on a buyer's election of
What they
inspection?
didn't choose
What they
to
chose
order.
not to inspect, yes. So yeah, once you get into it, you're going, and they decide to get more reports, do you need a new election inspection?
Even if it was something that they didn't expect to order on that form, because they checked no, but they
Right,
did
they
later.
can still order it.
Because-
And make sure they check every box,
Yeah.
one way
Yeah,
or the other.
one way or the other, thank
I
you.
do.
Thank you for saying that, because I wasn't gonna say that. Yes, he's right. Check every box one way or the
And
other.
isn't it required on our list of something to do
Yes, it
anyway,
is.
so,
Yep, yep. And it's a CYA,
right.
and it works. The last thing is, I'm gonna post this, and then I want you to, you talk about it real quick. Yeah.
I'll make something up.
Yeah, just wing it. The last thing is Stanford Graduate School of Business just issued a report on a case study they did on Keller Williams. It's thick. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. You're gonna see this posted. Definitely wanna read it. It's very well worth your time, especially with the international expansion and all that stuff that's going on right now. This should be everywhere. So the thing is, it's too thick, so I gotta get some poll quotes from it and put it up, and I'm gonna spend some time doing that tonight. So have a look at that. Brent, does anybody have anything to add before Brent gets started?
Did they do other companies as well?
Yeah, it was a comparison. Yeah, come on up.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Couple new faces. I'm Brent Blaustein with Summit Funding. I do mortgage loans. You guys sell homes. I do financing. I want to talk about something today that I think is really important. Who's doing video? What kind of videos are you doing?
I'm doing videos, I created a YouTube channel called Tara Linda TV, thanks to Roy who named it. And I'm doing, right now I just have my introduction, but I'm
Okay.
compiling videos about the community where I live. It's both about like its history, but also the architecture,
Yeah.
since there's like their homes.
Yeah.
And things you can do there, and people
Right.
in the community and businesses,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
So that's great. That's awesome.
Blah, blah, blah. There's
A lot of people are doing videos for their listings, of course, right? We all know about that. I was gonna say the new thing, which is not really new, it's kind of normal now, which we all should be doing, are video newsletters to our clients. So you should be sending out video. Remember, we've been talking about for the last couple months, different ways to prospect, past clients, favorite people, businesses, channel accounts. So you should be doing like 4 different videos every month. And there's different services. I use something called Co-Video. It's really quick. You can use your iPhone, you can do it in your car, you can do it in your office. You do a 1-minute video through Co-Video on your iPhone or whatever, and then it allows you to send it out to your database. And so, for instance, I'm gonna be doing a video this month on property taxes. Everybody who owns a home, or even you guys as realtors, have to know about what's gonna be changing in regards to property taxes in the next couple months. Because the settlement statements are gonna look different. Okay, they're gonna start collecting prorations, things are gonna start being due, there's going to be differences on your closing statements in the next month or 2. So I'm gonna do a video. It's another way to touch your sphere of influence, and even more so, it's a way for them to get to know you more. So you don't have the ability to see everybody in your database face to face every month, but with video you do. You ever, watch a TV show that you grew up with, or even a TV show that you watched, 5 years ago, and then, you kind of have that picture in your mind of that person on the TV show, and then 5 years later, you're watching some entertainment show or whatever, there's some news about this person, and they look totally different. They've aged 5 years, right? And you're like, where did 5 years go? They're still, right? So this is a way to stay in touch every month and have, when you do video, people feel like they really know you. It's a way for them to connect with you, and they're connecting with you. So it's huge, you guys should be doing it. And maybe what I'll do, if you're interested, is I'll put on like a little lunch and learn here and kind of show you what I do and how to do it. It's really easy. You have to keep it simple. Why?
Because you
Otherwise you won't do it.
Exactly right. I am the biggest offender. If it is too complicated, I just won't do it. It's got to be simple, and it is, and I'll show you how to do
When
it.
can we set that up? Next week.
Yeah, so let me think about dates, and then Roy, you're gonna be gone, but,
It's a perfect time.
who's
Perfect.
like, how do I get in touch with everybody?
Next
while you're
Tuesday.
No
gone?
way too while I'm gone, I'm just kidding. Get with Jill.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
she can
connect
blast
with
out
Jill
my
later in the
emails.
week.
I'm in.
Yeah, maybe next Tuesday, maybe that's a good time to do it, yeah.
That's
All right.
probably a really good idea.
All right,
Awesome.
cool.
I'm gonna show you guys an example.
Let's
of that
pencil it
real
in.
quick.
Yeah.
Here's an example of that really quick from what the example would be like, if you guys think of who my clients are now, they're the agents in this company and outside this company, right? Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet you.
Here's an example of what that looks like and a way to set it up really simple if you're using Gmail. Okay? There's a lab you can get for Gmail called, when you click on Compose, the lab is, I forget the name of it, so I'm going to tell you what it's called. It's called Canned Responses. And so I created a couple of canned responses, and so what I do is I send out a video email each time somebody opens an escrow. So I need 2 canned responses. I need one for a video email to a selling agent and one for a video email to a listing agent, right? So every time somebody comes and buys one of your listings, Steve, from now on, they're gonna get an email from me that looks like this, new co-op to selling agent, right? And so I put these X's in here because when I first sent it out, I sent Romy's, I sent the person on the other side of Romy's deal one of these with the name of the previous person in it. So now it has X's here, so it reminds me to type in the right information. Dear Fred, thank you for bringing a great offer on Steve's listing at 1234 Main Street. I'm the team leader here at Keller Williams Realty. I want to introduce myself and let you know that if you need anything at all, we're here to help. We look forward to a smooth escrow. Then they click on this little email here, and this is what they see. It doesn't do that when they click on it. They just takes them right to it, and they say this little email. Hi, Roy Merlino here with Keller Williams Realty in the wine country. I just wanted to thank you so much for cooperating with our associate on the other side of your deal, and I wanted to let you know that we're here to help. So feel free to call us anytime, and thanks again. We're very excited to be cooperating with you on this sale. That's it, right? Now, the video itself is not personal. It can't be, because I can't record a video for every single deal. But it's just video. Do you know the statistic on video and email? How much more it gets open?
It's huge.
It's ridiculously huge. It's like more than 4 to 1 or whatever gets opened above regular email.
When the email goes out, it has a picture of the video, so it has a picture of you. So the people are going to see you and they're going to click on it, right? And then it goes to the site.
Right. I probably should change it so it has a picture. But not that many people know me out here yet, anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But for you, with your clients, they know you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've used it a couple times with somebody who's not calling me back.
Mhm.
Where I'll just be like, hi, so I'll just, like, wherever I'm standing. Hi, it's Elizabeth Myers,
Yeah.
Keller Williams, just trying to reach you.
Yeah.
I'll call you later on today for one, send through, just text it over. It's
Yeah.
so dorky, but
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what, the guy called me back.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, they called you back. There's one other thing, as long as we're on video tips. Check out Hyperlapse. Hyperlapse is really cool.
Okay.
Go on to, just go get Hyperlapse, the app. You can get it for Android or iPhone. It's really, really cool. It's an image stabilized time-lapse photography app. And so you shoot video, and normally if you shoot video and then you show it in fast motion, like I did a trip out to Bodega Head, and all the way from Spud Point, all the way to when I parked at Bodega Head, I shot a video, and you know how bouncy the car is, I'm just holding it, right? And then I created a hyperlapse, which gets stored in the cloud, so the video doesn't take up a bunch of room on my computer. It was like a 5-minute long raw video, turned it into like a 30-second hyperlapse, fully stabilized, looks professional, of this drive to Bodega Head from Spud Point. It was really cool. So imagine that with imagine sending a hyperlapse of you walking through a house, like at walking speed. You're not talking about the house, you're just walking through it, right? And then hyperlapse that at 6 times that speed, still gonna be stable, it's just gonna be quick through the house, and then send it to your client. Or driving through a neighborhood to show them the neighborhood. You're driving up and down the neighborhood, an image stabilized hyperlapse. It's a pretty cool app, and it has a lot of application for what you guys do. Anybody have anything else to add for the meeting? Thanks for coming.
Thank you.